Hey guys, it's Dan, your host of your Dan's Reviews. Today, we're back for another Walking Dead discussion topic video. This one is going to be doing a video talking about All Out War, looking back on Season 8, and talking about, was All Out War a disappointment? So, I want to also talk about the Walking Dead comic book series on this one. I want to talk about, some of the comic book series events, because in the comic series, of course, we did get a, comic version of All Out War. I want to talk about the comic book series version as well, because I do think that, as we go through here, I do think that some of the comic storylines kind of got passed over, and some of it was different, some of it was, I like it different, and then, some of it I was like, not so sure. So, I want to talk about Season 8 as a whole, because pretty much Season 8 is your All Out War season. That's pretty much, when I look back on Walking Dead Season 8, I see it as the All Out War season. So why would I talk about, is it a disappointment? Why would I say that? Because I do know that there are some people that say that All Out War was slightly disappointing. I haven't seen too many. Quite a bit of people have been satisfied with All Out War, I feel like, at least. But I've seen some people that have said, maybe they should have done more. I view it as they did pretty much over what they could. They put so much work into All Out War this year, I feel like. And I feel like this season might have been the most difficult season that they've ever had to film. Because of the fact that they, have to do all these action sequences, all these stunts, and just absolute craziness all the way through, that I'm really surprised, actually, that, they were able to do even what they did in this season. Because this season, especially if you look at the first 4 episodes, were just out of this, world craziness, And I honestly am such a fan of those episodes, those first 4 episodes. Those first 4 episodes, for me, are some of the best I've seen for Walking Dead in a couple years, at least. So, that's one thing you can say right there. But I do know that there are, again, some people that say, I've heard a lot of people that said it was over action, too much action. I say keep it, because, honestly, Season 7 didn't have enough of it, I felt like. I felt like Season 7 could have had more. And, they were kind of building up. Season 7 really was like a build-up to Season 8. And I know a lot of people did not like Season 7. I see more people liking Season 8 than 7, that's for sure. But, I still see some people saying that Season 8 could have had more. I don't get that, because, come on. They did almost, the impossible, really, pretty much, on, everything they included and just everything like that. But here is when I get to the biggest problem of Season 8 in my eyes, and it actually is affecting Season 9, as we can see. We don't know if that's why Andrew Lincoln's leaving, and that is the death of Carl. The death of Carl in Season 8 was a real, I feel like a mistake, because the only reason why they killed him off, they can deny it all they want, the only reason why they killed off Carl is to have Rick not kill Negan. It worked in the comics without Carl dying. I don't understand how it couldn't work in the show. In the comics, at first we're like, why? Why would you, he's like, save him, and we're just like, what? But, it makes sense at a degree, too, because he's beaten the villain. It kind of makes sense already. But, anyways, so I view it as killing off Carl a really bad decision, and I don't agree with it, and I still think, at this point, that is part of the reason why Andrew Lincoln could be leaving. So, that's something I had to say right there. So I think that was a terrible decision that made for, but I do think, though, the way he died, the way Carl died, I actually do respect. I think they gave him a great send-off. It's just the fact that they killed off Carl that I think is really, really messing up some of these story arcs here. And also Season 9, the Whispers into Screams. I don't know how they're going to do that. I really don't. So, yeah, that's going to be difficult. But killing off the tiger as well. Now, killing off Shiva, that right there, I feel like is not as big of a mistake. Got this right here. I just found this little tiger there. It's like some random bookstore. I just picked it up so I can put it on the shelf. But anyway, so the tiger, Shiva. So, I feel like her death, that was pretty much perfect. I don't think that really affects Season 8 as a disappointment either. I feel like that was perfect and all that kind of stuff. But I think the thing that is bothering people the most about this season is Carl. But I also think, and I really don't understand this at all, people say that the season was too much action, too crazy. You could in TV shows, you can get to that kind of level. You have to kind of find a place in the middle there. I personally feel like season 8 did find the place in the middle because they gave you 4 episodes of nonstop action, but then in episode 5, they kind of let people chill a little bit, in episode 5. Not totally, because you had the confrontation between Rick and Daryl, but you pretty much did calm down quite a bit in episode 5. And that was still an amazing episode, I felt like. Just so many awesome facts about Negan that, we didn't really pick up on or anything like that, or we weren't sure of, or, anything like that. And then, episode 6, I felt like was another really, really, really solid episode, but that one didn't have much action either. And people were still complaining, so I don't understand this. I feel like people are gonna complain about this show no matter what. And I think the reason why is because it's been 8 years, and I feel like that's pretty much all there is to it. It's been 9 years in this, or 8 years, pretty much 9 years, but 8 years, in the series. We've watched the show for 8 years. People are bound to complain, I think, at a certain point, I guess. But at the same time, I'm not really understanding why they have to complain that much. Because, if you look at, I can definitely pick out a good few episodes in this season where I was blown away by what they did. Like, episode 2, wow. Okay, that was one of my favorites. The Damned, that was really good. And Monsters, those 2 right there. Episode 2 and 3 were amazing. And Some Guy was also really, really good. And The Premiere, again, that's the first 4 episodes, But, so those 4 I think are like some of the best ever. I personally feel like. And I think I put a couple of them in my top 10 list because I just felt like they were so good, man. But also, the mid-season finale, now that's another one. Aside from the sadness about Carl, you got the destruction of Alexandria, you got a confrontation between Rick and Negan in the house, flying out the window, and then, the big cliffhanger where you just see Carl lift up his shirt and just, Andrew Lincoln's reaction to that was amazing. He didn't have to say anything, you just knew, he just knew, and that's... Oh, man, so that mid-season finale might be the second best mid-season finale aside from Too Far Gone. That might be the second best. But, again, that's just my opinion. Let me kind of take a look. So, another episode of the season I thought was outstanding. I'm not saying every episode is outstanding, I'm just picking out some of the outstanding ones. The first 4 episodes, the mid-season finale, and then another one I wanted to say, which was episode 12. Oh, man, that one was really good with the, the fight between Rick and Negan and all that kind of stuff. And then episode 14 was also really good. Which one was that? What was that called? Still Gotta Mean Something. Yeah, that one was crazy with the Saviors and all that. Jared, he just dies in a brutal fashion in that one. Thumbs up. I felt like that was another really solid episode. And then I'd say the finale was another really... But again, I actually do have a lot of problems with the finale. I feel like the finale was a little disappointing. So you do have to kind of take a look at that, because the finale this season I don't think is a disappointment. I think they did more than they could. I feel like by the time they got to the finale, they just kind of wanted to finish it by one little battle and kind of end the season, because they did so much during the season, they kind of just wanted to end it at more of a relaxed mode than they probably wanted to, because, the fight between Rick and Negan wasn't the actual best. I'd say the fight with Rick and Negan in episode 12, or even the mid-season finale one was better, but, you do have some setup for season 9, Rick walking Carl, and then you have Maggie and, her drama, so, I did like it, for the most part, but the finale did have some things I wasn't a big fan of, but looking at this season overall, now that we're finished this season, now it's been a while, we're in June now, so, it's been 2 months, pretty much. Oh, man, I look at a really awesome season, and, okay, now, one thing I will say, okay, Season 8 is my second favorite. I know people are going to be like, why Season 8? Because I know this season gets a lot of hate for some reason, Season 7 and 8. This is my second favorite season of The Walking Dead, okay? Because I view this, season 6 is still my favorite, but one thing I will say is that the thing about this season that makes it my second favorite, I would put season 5 higher, but season 5 is my third because season 8 pretty much, it kept going with this, like, solid story arc all the way through. It just insanity all the way through season 8, I felt like. Just the action all the way through and characters dying all over the place. It was an insane season of Walking Dead. You gotta admit, season 8 was pretty darn good. But, as much as the hate gets, or as much as it gets hate, seriously, I mean, come on. But the one thing I will say is that I do like it more than season 5. Because season 5, honestly, would be better. Season 5 would be a better season. But I have to consider that really terrible lull in the middle with that hospital stuff. I can't. I'd much rather see... Come on, you guys. I mean, really. What would you rather see? The hospital, story arc that gets a lot of hate, like even more than All Out War? Or All Out War, any episode from All Out War. 'Cause I would rather see an All Out War episode than seeing the hospital stuff. So that I had to factor that in too. And that's why season 8's my second favorite. And I can't get enough of season 8. I've rewatched every episode like so many times now. And I'm not sick of it. It's such a good season. So anyway, guys, but again, I'm a big fan of this year's season of Walking Dead, but I know not everybody is. So write your comments if there's any of you that actually do like the season, and give me your opinions, because I actually do want to know what were your problems with the season. I view this as more than enough for a season of Walking Dead. I am not disappointed with season 8 and All Out War in the TV series version. No matter what changes they made from the comics, I still absolutely loved it. Even though Rick doesn't get his leg broken, or, Cal doesn't get killed or anything like that, still absolutely love this season of Walking Dead. Can't wait to see season 9. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.